Okay, got it. And we are gonna be live right now, it looks like. All right, everyone. We've got an awesome interview lined up for you. We have Wendy Stibalis with us. Wendy, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Happy New Year, guys. How are you
Happy
guys?
New Year. Happy New Year. Absolutely. So before we officially get started with the interview, I am going to grab the link. Well, first, let me put the link for Wendy's channel here in the chat and then pin it so that way everybody can find you. All right, so boom, that's pinned. And so while I grab the link and put it on Twitter, Wendy, tell us, how did you spend your New Year's?
Well, I came to visit my family in Colombia, but my family went to visit my like a house that my grandfather has in a place that is called Boyacá in Colombia. It's not very touristic. It's basically in the fields. So he has a house there. So we went there to just spend time with the family. And yes, that's what I did. And you?
I didn't do much. I stayed home. I watched a movie, and then at like 10 minutes before midnight, I paused the movie, and then I watched the ball drop, and then I went back to the movie.
Really?
Yes, not exciting. What about you, Strange?
Oh man, I literally had the most anticlimactic New Year's of all time. You know, being in New York with so much going on, man, I'm just trying to stay out the way and survive till the next ball drop. So hey, yeah, I just kicked it with some friends, man. Honestly, I just made a couple rounds, and I made all that happen before the ball even dropped. Honestly, just kept it simple. Had a nice little dinner with my friend and his family, and man, just kept it at the crib.
Absolutely. So, Wendy, I have that going over to you, the tweet going over to you right now. It's a simple, real quick tweet. So if you don't mind, I guess tweeting that, retweeting, should I say?
Yep,
And
let
then
me
Dr.
tweet.
Awesome. And
You see
then
me. You probably don't see me anymore.
no, I don't see you, Strange, but that's fine. I think you're probably going in to retweet also. John G in the chat, what's up? How are you? How's everything? Oh, John G, we've got an awesome interview lined up today. We're sitting down with Wendy Stibalis. We're gonna go ahead and ask her the usual questions, get to know who she is. And by the way, her link is it's pinned right there in the chat. It's to her YouTube channel. So feel free to hop on over because we're not officially started just yet. We're gonna start in about another 30 seconds. Go subscribe if you're not already, and hurry back. And anyone else, please like the video, hurry back. And here in the last 15 seconds before we officially get started, look, by the end of this video, we're going to discover Wendy Stibalis. And Wendy, it's Voices of Veve, right?
Yes, it's Voices of Veve.
Okay, Voices of Veve, because I do remember Women of Veve. Is that?
Well, long story, I started streaming the first time with the women's, and then I came out with the idea of Women Like Veve, but it was not just me. I'm not taking the credit. It was just, I was inspired because Orange Bag Lady made a chat where there were many girls, and one time I just asked who wanted to join, just women, and that's how everything started. And then I invited Johnny Dean in the first one, and then some girls said that Reese wanted to join us. So well, everything started to grow. But right now, like I have a new job, and I have Voices of Veve, and I have NFTs 101 and some plans that are coming. I couldn't do everything. So there is a team just working there, but I will never take the credit just for myself, because I believe that it was just inspired on what Orange start with the chat, and then when I started just streaming. Yeah, but yes, I used to have the women activity in my channel, but right now they have their own channel.
Gotcha. Okay,
so not to get too far in too fast, but I was noticing the NFT 101 on your page, on your Twitter page. Could you enlighten the audience about what you got going on?
Yeah, so NFTs 101 is more about different kind of NFT projects that I believe that are cool or have different approach in the NFT space. So for example, today I had Mondo and Mitch Putnam that he has been in Veve, and he's also working in another NFTs with Ethan Tristan. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but that is the artist. Before I have my homies, that the artist is Jermaine Rogers. So Jermaine, yes, that's the last name, right? Jermaine. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I know it's so many. Sometimes I'm like Robert.
It's Jermaine Rogers, right? Yeah. Jermaine Rogers, and then I have had Terra Virtua, Axe Infinity, well, many other NFT projects. So the focus is basically so people know more about different NFTs.
Great.
Awesome. That is fantastic. I love it. Okay, so everybody, just drop a like, and we're gonna officially get started right now. And then I always start with this same question, which is your grandparents. Where were they born?
Well, my grandparents by my dad's side, they are from Boyacá, Colombia. They are from a really humble place in Colombia. They used to be, how do you say campesinos? Like
farmers?
People that were, like farmers. And for the other side, my grandparents from my mom's side, they're from a place called Bucaramanga. That is a little bit more.
That's hard. I think I can't even pronounce that.
Bucaramanga. Okay. Yeah, that is another place.
Okay, awesome. And so, and your parents were born in those locations?
Mm-hmm. They were born in those locations and then moved to Bogota. That is where I am from.
Wow.
Okay. And so you were born in Bogota? Yes,
I was. Well, my mom was born in Bucaramanga, but she came to Bogota when she was like 4 years. So pretty much she's from Bogota. And my dad, he was born in Bogota, and myself as well.
Okay. And then, so where do you live now? Because I know we had a brief conversation about this a while ago. You're not in Colombia anymore.
I don't live in Colombia anymore. I live in Mexico City, but right now, today, I am in Bogota, in Colombia.
In Bogota. Gotcha. For the holiday and whatnot.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Okay, very cool. I have to, okay, so very cool. I know you came to the States recently. I saw that on your channel, but other than that, have you been to the States?
I went like 4 or 5 years ago for 3 days because I introduced one of my friends to another friend, and now they are together. So I went to the States to introduce. Right. Yes, I'm really good at that, guys. I'm letting me tell you guys, but I'm really good.
I might have to put my bid in. All right.
I will.
Okay. All right. So then, growing up in Colombia, this is going to be very interesting. So what kind of toys did you play with as a kid?
I used to play with Barbies, but like my dad and my mom, they were not rich, so I only had one Barbie per year for Christmas. So I collect them so I have 5 from 7 to 12. Those were my Barbies. Besides that, I used to play with my brother's cars. So we used to play with my Barbies and the cars, just like, I don't know. I don't remember what kind of games, but we were like on the blankets, like if they were like mountains. So we were just playing with the cars and then with the Barbies and all of that.
The Barbie's like 5 times bigger than the car. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. So it was basically the big Barbie and the small car.
Put like her foot in the door. That's it. That's all it is.
Exactly.
She could use them as like, I don't know, roller skates or something. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so, do you still have those Barbies? It sounds like you still have them.
I do. I do. I have my Barbies because I love them. Actually, my dad also made a house of Barbies because they couldn't afford when I was a kid, like a house of for Barbies. So my dad made one for me. But that, like, I want to cry because my dad did that for me. But when you are a teenager, you're stupid. So I lost it, and I don't have that anymore. But
Right.
so it was my house for Barbies, and but I still have the 5 Barbies. It's Esmeralda, it's a babysitter, and one that you can dry their hair, that it was a blue one, and 2 others that are like random.
Wow. I mean, there are certain Barbies that are worth a lot of money now. Do you know if they're worth a lot of money, or you haven't even checked?
Uh, well, I don't have idea, and I don't think they have all the accessories because my mom used to make the clothes for the Barbie. So I don't think they have the original clothes. I don't
Right.
think so.
Man, that is cool. That is cool. You know, you made it work with what you had. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very cool.
So, my question is, what cartoons were you into when you were growing up, you and your brother?
Well, I forced my brother to watch all the cartoons because he's younger for 5 years. So I was the boss still.
Right, and there's only one TV. You know, we only have one TV.
And
So,
who has the power?
right, the boss.
That's right.
And also, what is funny is that I'm the oldest, of course, of my brother and myself, but also I'm the oldest of my cousins. So
Oh,
I was
full
the
boss
one who,
status.
of course.
Right,
So,
right.
but
So,
we
what
used
you
to
have the
watch.
kids watching? What did you have them watching?
I used to watch Sailor Moon.
Oh, wow.
Ranma y medio is in Spanish, like Ranma and half, something like that. And that is about a girl that becomes a boy uh, if if she hits hot water or cold water. So it's anime as well.
Whoa.
I don't know if you have seen that one. That was pretty cool. Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon,
Yeah.
Digimon. I used to love Digimon. I don't know if you have heard about that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh, yeah. It's huge.
Yes, yes. I used to love Digimon. What else? I don't recall. Simpson, South Park. Well, that was when I was a little bit more teenager.
Right, right.
But mainly was like anime, like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon.
Wow. Interesting.
That is very interesting. Very interesting. Super dope. What about video games? Any video games?
No, well, the only video game that I actually went into was The Sims. That's it, because I don't like video game. For me, that's very boring. I was more into books. So that was,
What kind of books are your favorite?
well,
What
right now
genre?
it's poetry, but back then was more about fantasy. I used to read a lot. Like, I think I used to read like 100 books per year because I was
Wow.
really, yeah, I was,
No
yeah.
way.
Yes, yes, I swear, I'm not lying.
That's nuts. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool, very cool. And Zero Cool in the chat says, "What's up, VV fam? Wendy is the best. Absolutely, Wendy is the
Oh.
best." By the way, everybody, I've got a link to her channel pinned in the chat. Please, if you're not subbed already to her channel, go sub and then hurry back because you're gonna miss like the best part. So you gotta do it fast. So, all right. So Only the Sims. That was a really addicting game. Absolutely. I remember I got into it for a little bit. Strange. Did you ever play The Sims?
I did briefly, and I was already into another life-consuming game. I think it was like Elder Scrolls or Morrowind or something. And I was just like, nope, I can't do two. So I'm gonna just back away now.
Yeah, I
Definitely
totally
looked
get that.
crazy. It looked crazy.
So Wendy, when you were young, you had the Barbie dolls. Was there anything else, or maybe later on when you got a little bit older, that you started to collect? It could be anything, cards or comics or anything else besides the Barbies.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter, like huge, like since I was 8. I think that was my first book. Actually, my dad taught me to read. He was who inspired me to read. So that was basically my first book. And since then I was so addicted to Harry Potter. I used to have everything, but because of long story, I lost most of my collections and I had really cool stuff. But yes, I grew my collection of Harry Potter. Like I'm really, really like, I can't explain how big fan I was.
Wow.
So
Or I am.
do you still have your collection of the Harry Potter like toys or anything like that?
No,
No,
I
sir.
lost it because when I moved to Mexico, well, there was a time that I just went crazy and I lost pretty much all my collection. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yes,
that's
so
tough.
I lost it. Yeah, that was, but you know, I'm still a Potterhead in my heart. So
That's right.
So, okay, so if you could get one of the, now I have to ask. So I know you mentioned the Barbie house that your dad made, and then the books and the Harry Potter toys, the Harry Potter ¿cómo se llama?
books.
The books and the toys. If you could only bring one back, only one thing, what would it be?
My dad's the house,
The house.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's because I know that I can buy the rest. But
That's
the
right.
house that my dad did is only one.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You have to go with that because you're right. It's priceless. You see, and that's that's why I like to collect, because I have an emotional tie to a lot of these things that I collect. So I completely understand that. And Strange, you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, even when she initially told the story, I was just thinking in my head, like, wow, and she's so right. As a kid, it seems like so uncool when your parents do something like that, make something from scratch and you don't appreciate it till later. And you don't have that understanding till later on that so many of these things you can buy again. But, things that people make with their hands and their time and as their personal touch, it's irreplaceable. It's one of a kind, so
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
interesting.
I agree. And by the way, the real Randy Chavez is in the building.
Meow, meow, meow,
Yeah.
meow.
Say hello to Daffy for me, Randy.
Dashy. Hello, Dashy. Hello, Dashy.
Hello, Dachi. Hello, Dachi. I love Randy. Randy's amazing.
Oh my God. We sat down with Randy recently, and that was
God,
amazing. That
amazing,
was
man.
crazy. It was
I'm
just,
gonna kick it with him again. Like,
yeah, it was a
oh,
lot
man.
of fun. It was a
He
lot of fun.
told me. He told me about that. That was cool. That's how I realized about you guys, because I have seen your name, but I was not very aware until he told me about you guys, and I went to see your channel, and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
We're laid back guys, just like Randy. So we got along great.
Yeah.
You're laid back too. So this is awesome. This is fun. So all right. So what about I know you mentioned cartoons, but what about like TV shows? Any like regular TV shows? And it doesn't have to be when you were super young. It could be anytime.
Yeah, so there was a program in Colombia called El Club 10, like Club 10. So it used to have like these characters of a dinosaur and a wolf, that it was Aurelio Cheveroni. So it was very popular because he has their own song and stuff. So, and also they, when it was like Sunday or Saturdays in the morning, so it was just like from 7 to 12 a.m. So a lot of things were happening, and you used to watch the cartoons there, but also to see the show. So I used to love the Club 10 in Canal Caracol. And that was one. And also in the afternoons, like during the week, I don't remember the name, but it was basically another show when you can see like all the cartoons like Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and all of that. And also I used to love a lot a TV show that it was called Séptima Puerta, that is called like the seventh door or something, that it was about stories of mystery or ghost or kind of that kind of stuff.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I was too young. I shouldn't see that kind of stuff, but I'm always a little bit, I'm gonna do it anyway if I want to.
She's the boss. What do you think? Like,
That's right. You're the boss. You're the oldest cousin. That's it. You're the older sister. Forget it.
Exactly. And it's funny because all my my cousins, have you seen Rugrats, like the biggest girl that is Angelica, the Rugrats? I mean,
No.
Duras en Pañales, Rugrats. I don't know if I'm pronouncing well, but it's about the little kids and the big cousin. So she makes them do everything because she's the boss. So they call me Angelica because of that.
Yeah, figures. Okay. So, all right. So we see that you were the boss and you controlled the TV and all that. So what about movies? What were your what? Okay, you know what? Okay, you're stranded in an island for the rest of your life. You only have 3 movies. Let's go with that. What are the 3 movies?
Harry Potter, Interstellar, and Gravity.
What was the last one? What was the last one?
Gravity?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah,
I thought she was going to say Harry Potter 1, Harry Potter 2, and Harry Potter 3. Nah.
I was going to say that, but
No. I like that. But you know what we'll do? We'll do all the Harry Potters as one.
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna choose one. That is Harry
Right.
Potter.
Absolutely.
Man, if I knew I was getting all those movies, I would have chose Lord of the Rings for my incident. I got like 6 movies in one, man.
We're gonna have to interview again, so you're gonna have to do that question. So, all right. So, okay. So, what about now? But physical collectibles, not Veve. Physical collectibles. Are there any physical collectibles that you go and you're like, okay, I need to get this one, or no, not so much.
The only thing I have collected was Harry Potter back then, but I also collect books because books are that is the only thing that I want to have many of them. So I do have a decent amount of books, but that is not collectibles. Besides that, no, nothing.
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Are
They
they?
definitely are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people. Yeah, you never know.
There's some books that are so scarce, you'll be surprised what they go for. And, you know, there's such a perishable thing, you know, that it's not like comic books where it's like once you realize like, oh, this is important, you know, you send it off to get graded. So it's encapsulated in a little glass thing or whatever. You know, books are like always subject to being destroyed. So, you know, they become more and more scarce, and it's a lot less publishing houses reprinting stuff, and you just be surprised.
I love books with all my heart.
Yeah.
I love books too, but I read like different. Like I recently got done with Ready Player 2. I don't know if you heard the movie Ready Player 1.
I have seen half of the movie because my ADHD doesn't help, so I have to see like different times.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. All right, so what is the collectible that you own? And now we're not talking Veve just yet, but what is the physical collectible that you own that you would think is worth the most? You know, in value, just monetize.
Like in money?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any collectible that is expensive. Like in physical, you mean?
Yeah, like in physical. Like I know you mentioned that you probably don't. You have the Barbies, and you know.
Just the only thing I think I have is Barbies and my books.
The books. Okay, we're gonna go with the books.
So how about let's get into your Veve stash a little bit.
Yeah,
so what would you say is your most expensive Veve piece?
I think it's my Givenchy set because I have low mints in all of them, and I have matching numbers in the ultra rares. Wow. So I have both same number for Keo and Amelia. And my Pride, I got it in the drop, and it's low mint, like 200 something. And the Rewind, I got it also in the drop, but I traded for having the same matching number with the kind of matching number with the Pride.
Nice.
So how did you get into Veve?
Well, I have been in the crypto space for almost more than 3 years. So I was one of the Facebook groups, and Luis Cepeda, big shout out to him. Basically, he is the reason why I'm here. And he posted something about the NFTs, and I just saw it. I have heard about NFTs because of TikTok, and so I was just waiting to invest in the right thing. So I saw the collectibles. I think it was like the Ultraman and Cartoon Network something, and I just said, oh my god, that is what I'm looking for. And I just DM him, and I think I bought from him like Finn and Princess Bubblegum. Those were my first, and I paid with I think it was with Mexican peso, or I don't remember if it was with Mexican peso or with crypto, something like that. But that's how I knew about Veve.
Wow.
So which was the first NFT that you got from Veve?
Finn
Okay,
and Princess Bubblegum.
gotcha.
But the drop, my first drop was the DeLorean.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay. See, this is before I
That was
came
my
onto the
first drop
app.
too.
So when was this, give or take?
That was around March. That was my first drop too. I got
Yeah.
in actually around the Ultraman drop, but I had missed that drop.
Me
And so I was
too.
just ready for the next one. Yeah.
For me, I was a little bit afraid because, well, it takes a little bit of time to understand. Well, back then, because it was my first NFT, so I was like, "What is this?" And I thought I could just wake up and try to do the drop, right? So I didn't know, and I thought that I was going to buy the gems at the same time of the drop, and blah blah blah. So I think I just fall asleep, and I woke up late, so I didn't care in that moment. Later on, I learned my lesson, but I
Right.
already had the Finn and the Princess Bubblegum, if I'm not mistaken the time. But it was March 24th, I think, the day that I opened the account.
Yeah. I was around there too. That's funny.
Very
Mhm.
cool. Very
Yeah, I guess
cool.
we were like that second wave that came in, you know. We were for the
Mhm.
second wave. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that's early on, because people, they say like when people were first coming into the app, it was like early part of the year, right? February.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of
Mhm.
people, yeah, January, February. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
But
So
hear.
they're the lucky ones. Those are the ones that came in and saw Todd sitting in the store, you know, for retail price.
Ah,
do you know what is funny? Because I think I was around there, but like I was taking the time to understand when to
Right.
buy. So I never, like, I actually passed the film for 5 days or something because I was hesitant about should I
right.
buy this. It was not because I didn't believe in the NFT. It was more that I was afraid that Luis was going to scam me. So I was like, what is the cheapest thing? Because for me, $20 or $30, I don't remember how much did I buy, for what price. For me, it still was a lot of money back then. And I was like, wow, that is a lot of money. And I'm going to invest in something that I don't know. So it was kind of scary a little bit.
No,
But,
absolutely. I get
but yeah.
that. Yeah. So out of your NFTs on Veve, which one is, if you're okay with answering, which one is worth the most?
For
One
me,
item.
just one. Maybe for now is Fantastic Four, the secret rare. I think for now. For me,
Yeah,
that's the
that's a
most
nice one.
expensive. Mhm.
That's a really nice one. And you got that off the drop?
No. I traded for a lucky rabbit. Uh, I had 2 lucky rabbits, and I traded the Fantastic Four secret rare, ultra rare Fantastic Four, and a low mint Marvel comic #1 for that rabbit, because back then the rabbit was more expensive. So
Yeah.
I traded, and I think 2 or 3 days after, the secret rare went up. So
Right.
I
I
was
mean, hey,
lucky.
that's how it is. That's how it is. It just, you never know what's gonna happen, what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I know you mentioned you were into crypto. Um, I would make the assumption that you own a little bit of OMI.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, just wondering what cryptos you're into. Are you kind of like just concentrating, you know, your funds towards OMI and kind of like, you know, can only invest in so much? Or are you kind of like, you know, still keeping your ear to different projects and different cryptos back in those projects?
Well, right now I've tried to be very conservative, because
Right.
right now it's a good price to buy, like basically all of the cryptos, because we have a dip, so
Yeah.
it's a good time to buy. But right now I'm waiting for some savings to invest. But yes, well, me, what I'm planning to do, is just buying when we have dip, because I know how the price of OMI moves. So right now I'm waiting for another dip to buy more OMI, but I
Right.
have had really good entry, how do you say it, entries? Like
Entry
when
point.
to buy, entry
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
So I think the first one was like, well, before that I sold, back in June, I used to buy in 0016, but after I sold like in 00, I don't remember what, but I buy again in 003, 005, and I think the most risky one was like 007 around,
Right.
but that was the last time that I bought. But right now I'm waiting for a little bit of dip to buy more.
What are we at
But
now? Like
into,
somewhere around 6?
I think we are around
Been trading
006.
sideways for a while. But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting because right now we don't know. So I'm waiting for,
Right.
because I try to read the charts to know
Right.
when to buy.
I
That's what
mean,
I do. But with the other cryptos, I just, for example, with Ethereum, I don't mind when to buy. I don't mind when to buy with Bitcoin,
right.
because those are my,
Long-term holds.
yes, also OMI, but with OMI,
Right.
I prefer to buy when it has dip, so I have more return.
Definitely.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And so besides Bitcoin, Ethereum, and OMI, are there any other cryptos that you're interested in?
Yes,
You invest-
I also have BNB, Polkadot, XRP, Engine. What else? Illuvium, TDK. Basically, pretty much I'm focusing right now in all of the metaverses. So those are my focus right now.
I think that's a really good investment right there. I like anything metaverse related. I really do think that's the future, and that's where we're headed. So I think it's good.
And DAOs are not financial advice, guys, please.
Right.
Right.
Not
Right.
financial advice.
Yeah.
But
Nobody knows the
Now,
future.
man.
We're just talking.
yes, we're just, but DAOs, I think also is the next wave, and also gaming in NFTs.
Right. Right. It's funny you said DAO. I've had my eye on that recently, like the last couple of days. I'm like, wow, this looks amazing. I gotta see what's going on here.
You see, it's a sign. It's a sign.
Indeed,
Not
You have
right.
to
financial
It
check all
advice
of
brings
those.
it
though.
up, right?
Check all the, well, not financial advice again, disclaimer.
Right.
But I will make my research about all of the DAOs and the metaverses. That's my
Okay.
personal opinion. I'm not saying that go to
Okay.
buy anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Absolutely. So obviously we're all very, very excited about Veve and the future Veveverse. What if you were to pick a NFT that Veve would come out with? Which one would it be?
Harry Potter.
Obviously, right? Huge Harry Potter fan.
Oh my God. I will, but also I would cry because of Harry Potter, but also I would like to have like classical books, to have the ownership of classical books. Oh
Right.
my God. I think that it would be so cool.
I think they're gonna go there too. I think they're gonna really do it.
I have asked many times and they always say, no, we are not. But they
Really?
always said that and then they release. So I don't believe them.
Wow.
You see,
I would like to.
again, the first book I ever read was Jaws, and
Wow.
to have a NFT of that book, Jaws, would be very special to me. So I think that's awesome. Great idea.
I agree.
Grant, I think we're gonna get to a point where someone is gonna step up. It could be Amazon. Maybe Amazon needs to step back up into this space and start NFT-izing their books. Like
I think that's a great idea.
Because like I said, we're dealing in uncertain times. We got all these natural disasters going on, people's houses being lost, all these collections being lost in the process. But once it's on that phone, as long as you got an internet connection, it's there, So the ability, again, think about how many times you go on a trip and you're like packing and stuff and you're like, oh, I wish I could bring these 3 books. Yeah, you can, but how much space are you taking up, away
Right.
from that extra pair of shoes or something, and you're like, so now to have it in your phone, it's nothing like it. And you can see that's what they were trying to do, 10 years ago with Kindles and all this stuff.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
they
Yeah.
understand the value of digitizing books, but it just didn't see the light of day properly. But I think it might come back.
I think so. A lot of these things, it's timing. It's about timing. So as you mentioned, Kindle 10 years ago was crazy. I read books on the Kindle, but I just find that instead of having 2 devices, I just put it on this and I can read on this. I'm not a physical book reader anymore. So I think that would just be amazing, being able to I love Dean Koontz as an author.
Me too, bro. That's crazy.
Oh, that is funny. Look at that. We're
I
interviewing
still have some of
Wendy,
his
and
books. I still
here we
have some of
go.
those books, right? But you know what would be awesome too is you guys got me to think, how my brain works. Even when I'm thinking about how I'm building my NFTs coming, it's interesting how you could take a book and how audiobooks are like the new thing. So now you could take a book, make it an NFT, and then also make it play audio, and the person could just mute it, if they don't want to hear it. And,
it's all in one.
Right, all in one.
I
tell you,
wow.
man, whenever Veve wants to hire me for their creative consultant.
Yeah, I know. You have to talk to Reese, huh?
I know, gotta get this going, man.
When Dokta Strange in the team.
That's right. That's right. By the way, Fast Eddie P is in the chat. Hey, Fast Eddie P. And by the way, everyone in the chat, I've got a link to Wendy, her YouTube channel. It's pinned on top. Go subscribe if you're not already.
And it's a really good channel, yo. Really good content.
Awesome. Awesome. She hosts Voices of Veve. And so go check it out and hurry back because you don't want to miss any part of this interview. All right. So what are your friends? Because we got to know a little bit about your youth, and then we spoke Veve, we spoke crypto. What do you, obviously you're in it. What do your friends and family think about this whole vertical?
Well, my friends, I think they are paying attention right now because I told them back in March, and no one paid attention to me. But right now they are listening because they have seen, like, especially my growth and how the NFT space changed me as a person. And so that has helped to let them know that there is another possibilities out there and not just their normal life, which is okay. But I think there is another world. And so that's why they are listening to me right now. In the terms of my family, well, they don't actually understand what I'm doing. So they're like, why are you doing the streams? What are you talking about? Especially because of my background was so different, and everyone
humble beginnings. Right.
Yes, and they also, my whole life, my background is that I'm a professor. I can teach in university. I have a master's degree. So my whole life I focus on become one day a professor in a university, and right now I'm not doing like any of that. So it's like, when are you going to do how do you say, well, in Spanish is ejercer tu carrera, but it's like when you are going to work in the thing that you study, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that is the interesting part that they don't understand. Yeah, but that is what they say.
Yeah, it takes parents sometimes, they have to realize we go down these paths and then we realize it's just not our passion. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. There's a very high percentage of people that go to school, spend all this money on school, put the time in, they get the degree, and then they totally do not do anything related to their degree,
Yeah, and I still believe that I'm teaching in any sense, in any way, like in some way I'm still trying to teach people, trying to connect them so people understand better the space. So teaching and education is not just in a school for me. So I believe that I'm still doing it, and I know that I have skills for doing so. So yeah, so that is but still I don't feel bad about it, but still even
Right,
I feel happy about doing it.
right, right. That's the main thing. At the end of the day is how you feel about what you're doing.
Hmm.
It's your life. So
Exactly. What happened with him?
I think he lost internet. Let me
Hmm.
see what's going on. Let's see.
He's back.
Is he?
I'm back. I am
Okay.
back.
All right.
I am so sorry. This is I don't know. I don't know what the heck happened there. I lost internet. So what did I miss? I know I missed the best part.
Don't
You did,
worry.
man. It was getting real emotional over here, man. You know what I'm saying?
We
Oh
were about
boy.
to cry.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No. We are kidding.
Okay, so
Wendy, I got a question.
Hmm.
Um, what do you expect the initial look of Veveverse to be? Like I always have this vision of like what it'll be when it's like blown up and developed. But like I also like to think about like, humble beginnings, like we talk about baby steps. So what do you think the initial rollout will look like? Like just simple things we'll be able to do.
I think it's going to look like Ready Player One. The part that I saw, the half, the first half, because I remember seeing the DeLorean. That was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is how it's going to look. Because I have the DeLorean,
Mhm.
and for me, it was like, wow, that is how I imagine Vivi. I hope that it looks like that.
Mhm. Okay.
I agree. I think it is gonna look like that. I think it's gonna be pretty crazy. And Ready Player Two, as I mentioned, they talk about how it evolves from glasses to a thing that you put on your head, like
Hmm.
I don't know, probes or whatever, and you actually like lay down and go to sleep, and you go into like a dream state.
Hmm.
Is wild, is wild. But who knows? Maybe one day in the future it'll evolve to something like that. But
With Neuralink, have you heard about Neuralink?
Right.
That maybe that
Starlink.
is
Right.
so. That is not that far, I think.
I agree. I think that that's where we're headed. And but at the very least, look, we're here at the very beginning.
Hmm.
We're not letting this opportunity pass us by.
Hmm. Exactly.
I think that we're fortunate.
Hmm. Very, actually, very. I think this is a miracle that, well, sometimes it feels like we are not that early because I do know OGs of NFTs back in 2017. So it's like, wow, that's a long time. But still, I think we are early for the mainstream, I guess.
Right. Right.
Wow. I wish I would have jumped on that boat early, like and caught Bitcoin and Ethereum back in, I hear people buying it in 2012 or even earlier, it's just like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I knew about Bitcoin back in 2015, and but I didn't know how to buy Bitcoin. I knew I was going to invest anyway because for me it's like it's so obvious that it's going to work,
Exactly.
and but I didn't know how to buy back
Me
then,
too.
so
Same problem. Yep.
Hmm.
I passed.
Yep.
No,
And I
yeah,
think
I
that's
hear you.
I think that's what to a degree, because it's definitely not the same as back then. But I think to a degree that's what Omi is going through. There's
Mhm.
definitely a lot of people locked out, or at least they feel like it, or they just feel like, they'll just wait. They're content with waiting and being in that next wave, and playing it from there, understanding that it definitely is going to have so many catalysts coming
Mhm.
every so often to keep pushing it. I don't know if there's a bad time to really buy on me, because there's been things you've probably seen it being in the
Mhm.
crypto space so long. you know how like there's certain coins you could look at now, but back then they were like, you know, less than $1. And even then you were sitting here like, should I spend $40, you know, on this? And
In
then now you
Bitcoin.
look at it and it's like $20 a thing, you know, you're like, damn, like that was nothing back then. So it's like all your perception. Like right now we're sitting here arguing over buying points on something that's less than a penny. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like I don't care what it is. When I have the money to put in, I don't care if it's $10, $15, I just do it just because like where I see it going. Now, once it hits $1, I'll have to be a little bit more frugal with my investments on it. But that's what I mean. It's under a freaking penny. Like, what do you?
I know.
What's that?
I know. It's so cheap.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I mean, if it hits $1, we're rich. Like,
Mhm.
Man,
you know, and I
make
talk to
me
a
wanna
lot of
buy
people, and they're
Omi
like,
right
you know,
now.
$10 is a little wild, but they're like $1 is definitely doable. So I'm like,
Mhm.
man,
I do remember the first time that I bought Omi, I was like seeing like all the numbers, like I think I had like 100,000 Omis or something. I don't remember. Maybe or even just 10,000. I don't know. It was just a small amount of Omi back in, well, last year. And I was thinking, well, if it goes to the moon, like to $1, so it means that I will have like $10,000. So for me, it was
exactly,
like, that is a lot of money. Oh my
exactly.
God. So I just bought it because
Yeah, yeah,
it was not that much money anyway. So, and
right.
for me, it's always important to invest only what I'm willing to lose.
That's
Right.
right.
So I don't invest, like even what I invested back in 2018 was money that, so my story about that was very funny because I have read about investing and all of this stuff and the rule of never invest anything that you're not willing to lose. So one day I was going to go to the movies and I had like $5 around, that's the cost in Mexico. So
Mhm.
I was thinking, should I go to the movies or should I invest $5 in crypto?
Right,
Because still, it doesn't
right,
matter. It's, you know, it's still, if I go to the movies, I'm gonna lose the money
right,
anyway.
right.
But
Right.
if I invest, maybe even I learn, even if I lost them. So for me, that's how it started. So I invested the $5, and I think 1 month later on, Bitcoin went up a little bit. So I think I earned a little bit more. So all the profit I reinvested, and that's what I have done for 3 years. Of course, I put a little bit more of money, but once that I have known how to trade, how to do all of this stuff, I was more confident. But everything started because I just risked $5.
Right. Wow.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And Fast Eddie P in the chat is saying that he loves you. So
Aww.
he loves that your whole your mentality, the way you approached it and everything.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. And by the way, everybody in the chat, this is open forum. If you have any questions that you want us to ask, put them down in the chat. And by the way, in the chat, I have it pinned her link to her YouTube channel. So go subscribe, drop a like if you like the interview so far. So okay, so we've spoken about a little bit about everything. So I'm curious. What is your grail? It's so funny. Crypto Pro made a video that said, well, "Why people call it grail? It should be holy grail." I was like, okay, so I'm gonna, you know what, Crypto Pro, I'm gonna go holy grail, Veve collectible, so something you don't have, and then you know what, we're gonna go with something physical. I know you mentioned the Barbie house and whatnot, but maybe something that you can buy. So something in the physical that you can buy that would be like your ultimate gift, and something on Veve.
For the physical, I do have one. I won the first edition of Harry Potter, but the first one that was released in the UK, not the one on, well, as well of the US, but I would love to have the first edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the first one. That's in the physical world. And in the in Veve, I will say maybe Marble #1, Secret Rare. I would love to have that one, or Partner Statue, but I will go more for the comics. I believe more in the comics. Sorry, not sorry.
Interesting.
So do I.
Wow.
So
A
do I.
fellow comic lover. Now, why is that? Why?
Well, besides that, all my friends who Sleepy Comics and Crypto have made a really good content, and I have them, so I have learned the importance of comics. So I have realized that comics they have more how do you say, foundation of that is going to hold like in a bear market, what is going to hold like the Marvel #1. I know that it has a history. It's the first comic of Marvel, so it has a history behind that is going to sustain the price. Even if it has a dip, it still is going to be the first Marvel comic that has like more than 50 history. So for me, that is important.
Very true.
Meanwhile, the collectibles, yes, they do have a history. Maybe that's why the statue, I would say that maybe that one is as well something that I would like to have. But it's the first time that we have in the NFT format. So the story behind it is not that strong, like the Marvel #1. And also
I don't
because
think I've ever heard anybody bring this up before, and I think that this is a major thing. Like honestly, lately I've been shifting my moves to grabbing more Marvel One. So it's just funny that you said that, because that's the way I see it too. But I didn't really process it that
yeah,
way.
for me, Marvel #1 comics, even the commons, because I'm team common.
Right?
For
Yeah,
me,
you've
that
been
is
team
like
common since the beginning. I remember.
so for me what I my one of my strategy is like investing like in Bitcoin. That is like the most secure
Yeah,
crypto out there. So for me, the Bitcoin of Veve is
maybe.
Marvel #1, all of
Wow,
them.
I like it. I
Yeah, I
like
agree.
it.
Or even
Absolutely.
Fantastic Four, does that one as well. Those
Right.
two for me, in my
I
opinion.
agree. You know, my third on the list would have to be Amazing Spider-Man
Yes,
#1.
Yeah.
That's my
I
third
agree.
on the list. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. So,
And then my
but
fourth
if I
would be
have to,
Journey into Mystery 15.
yes, as
But
well.
it's
But
just
for
highly
me,
slept on right now.
but yes, I agree with you. And I think when big comic collectors, because I really have learned so much from Sleeping Comics and Sean from Comics and Crypto, and I have made my research. And also my brother he is the nerd about comics, so I also go with him. Hey brother, what should I do? Before that I met Sleeping and Comics and Crypto, my brother was the one who was telling me, wow, you have to buy this one. That's what I have. Well, I'm a big whale of 8 comics, Marvel #1, but I have 2 low mints on them. But I want to buy more because that's what I want to do. Put my money in a secure, well,
Right.
kind of secure.
Right.
Um,
As secure as it can get on the app, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
something interesting, a couple of weeks ago, I made a video where I call comic book stores, and I call some big comic book stores. I called one in Times Square. It's a really big comic book store, and I asked on the phone like, "Hey, you guys know what Veve is? What is this Veve stuff?" And none of the comic book stores. And these are people who obviously either own or work at a comic book store. And I called a few of them, and none of them knew what Veve was. And that told me everything I needed to know, because I know that when all it takes is Veve to come out with like a 1-page article in a comic book and say, hey, look, you can get these Marvel #1, so on and so forth. And you can come over to the app, you get it on the blockchain. And that's it. These collectors are going to start coming, and they're going to start scooping up all these Marvel ones, as you mentioned, all these key books, Amazing Fantasy, Fantastic Four. They're gonna come and these prices are gonna go berserk. And it's just that showed like for a
You
That we
know,
are
large,
early.
we're early.
right. I think one of the main ones that people are going to flock to, out of the cheaper ones still left, I think it's going to be New Mutants 98.
Hmm.
I think people are going to flock to that because when they come in and they see Holy Grail comics first appearances, and if they feel priced out of a lot, that's the book you can still get. That's pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
think
think
that's the first floor that's going to get eaten up.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Fallout is also another one. The
Yeah.
first
Mm-hmm.
appearance of Miles Morales. I think that's another one that the comic book collectors in real life they love, and the fact that when he comes out with his own movie, I think that
So,
that's going to be another one that's going to be, it's going to see a lot of growth in value.
Actually, speaking of that, I was looking the market because I was expecting to have more dip, but even right now, even if it goes to, let's say that I buy in 50 and it goes to 25, I know that in 5 years, that one has high potential, because that's the one that will be like a investment, like a risky investment for me. But I'm very conservative in what I invest. Like, I really do my research. I don't just go for what everyone says, but I really take the time. And with that one, with my Morales, I do believe that it has a high potential. And even if I lost, it still is meaningful because it's Latino, I think, and it's
Right.
a Black character. And for me, that is very important, because I know what it feels to have like a character that you can relate with your culture. So
absolutely, yeah. I think I think that's why he's become popular. You know, is because of that. It's something different, and you know, people can relate and stuff. So I again, there's all those books that again, the ones that are the big bangers, the mucho caliente comic books in real life. You know, as we mentioned, those handful, those are gonna be like, you know, awesome, awesome.
And I think it's
those are the
crazy
best
when you
investments.
even, I think it's interesting when you really almost zoom out and try to project like a year out from now, let's say, and you're that new person coming in. I mean, imagine if you were on Instagram and you know you're scrolling and every 4 pages you get that ad. You know, imagine if the ad was like starting at $190, Marvel #1 for a common. I bet you a bunch of people would press that button and come right over to like, that's still cheap when we think about it. It's just the fact that we're trying to spread our money across getting so many things. We're worrying about having gems for the next drop, what it could be. But other than that, I mean, now that she's talking about it, like it really makes me want to go harder and get even more because I feel like it's still underpriced like crazy. Like,
I
Absolutely.
agree with you. I agree with
Absolutely. I really do think so, man. Again, I was when after I made that video and I saw that these comic book employees did not even know what Veve was, I said, "Oh, forget it, forget it. We're so early, and these things, you know, again, it's just gonna take some marketing on a comic book. All they have to do is put a center, like a full page, you know, ad inside the comic books, run it for a few months, forget it, you know." But
Mm-hmm.
you know, so okay, so we obviously see, you know, so you know, we all on the same page here with when it comes to comic books, absolutely. And the thing is, when those that we mentioned go up, the other ones, because now other people are coming in who maybe not be able to get those other ones, they'll scoop up the other
that's what I'm
books.
saying. You're
So
gonna
I
get
think
what you could afford. You know, it's like Wendy when she came on the app, she didn't come in trying to get, you know, a Rain of Corno or whatever. You know, she came in and got, you know, what she could. And that's what I did too. You know, I was a little taken back, like, wait, $25 for this thing? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it do? You
Exactly.
know, I was the same way, you know, and it's just so funny how like even back in those days, Jose, like there were so many things like still available after a drop. Like there literally was a store. Like you could log into the app and go under the store and still see Batgirl for retail, all these
I
different things,
know.
all the different hoverboards. Some of them were still left over. And now I look at that and I just feel like an idiot. Like, damn it. Like,
I
I
did
know.
buy more bad girls back then when they were just sitting there, because I was like, why no one is buying that? Like everyone's like paying attention to, I don't remember what was that. And I was like, I'm gonna buy it. Like I need dip a little bit. I'm like, still, this is what I always think. When I invest in something, it's because I do believe it has high potential, and when everyone underestimate them.
right.
That's a big
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You gotta feel confident that like you did your due diligence. There was something that told you to pull the trigger. So it's
mm-hmm.
like when the times start getting rough, you just gotta go back to your mindset of what made you do that, what you were thinking, and just stick
Mm-hmm.
to your guns. Cause I notice most of the times, like almost every time I buy something, I'm thinking, okay, I'll flip it. You know, when I go to flip it, all of a sudden all these people will start undercutting and putting theirs up for sale. Like, where'd you guys come from? And then, you know, you're like, okay, let me bring the price down. and you bring the price down, it sells, and then here we are now in a dry spell with no drops, and now everything's going through the roof. Like, I could have made so much profit if I would have just waited, you know? And I keep going through this process over and over. So just hopefully one day it's going to stick in my brain, like, chill out, you know? It's kind of like the comics, like when they drop. Like, we all know pretty much rares are going to be $40. We know, you know, the common's going to be $11, $12, $13. You know, we know these things, but yet right after the drop, I find myself in the marketplace messing around with these people trying to sell me comics for too much money. And I'm over here trying to buy it, you know, and I'm realizing like some of this stuff is addictive. There's an addictive aspect to this process, even the drop itself. So like I'm sitting there trying to get a common, and I'm saying to myself, if I wait till like 9 o'clock tonight, or even tomorrow, if I close this app and don't open it, I guarantee you commons will be $11. The rare will be 40, you know, so on and so. And then sure enough, you know, and then you're looking at your stuff like what you paid for it and the floor price. And you're like, I knew it. I should have just waited, you know. Like, so
yeah,
So
I agree.
So Wendy, so speaking about all these moves that you know we've made and lessons learned, can you share with us the best move that you've made on the app versus the worst?
The best was the Lucky Rabbit for the Secret Rare of Fantasy 4 and the Ultra Rare of Fantasy 4 and the low min, I think is 800 or something. That was the best trade so far. And also the worst one was so 1 week before Disney, I forgot that Disney was coming. So I also have another Lucky Rabbit, low min, like 200 something. And someone sent me an offer for 4K gems, like 4,000 gems for that rabbit. But at that time, my rabbit was like in 6,000 for my min. And I was like, I don't like to low my price. I'm really hard on negative. Like if I set a price, that's what I'm gonna go after, even if I have to wait a lot of time, I don't mind. But because of that, I knew that the price was like really low for my min. So I rejected. But I forgot totally about the Disney week. So I remember that like by the night or the next or the day after. And I was like, man, what did I do? I'm on moron. I forgot about the drop. I forgot about the Disney moment. So in that sense, if I had the time, like if I can go back to the time, I sell the Lucky Rabbit, invest in golden moments, and buy again my rabbit because I really like that rabbit. I really like it. So, but yes, so that was the worst decision that I did. But that was because thanks to my PhD, I forgot things. So that was like distracted. So yeah.
Okay, very cool though. Very cool.
So,
you know,
so speaking of time, right? If you could hop in a DeLorean and go back to any point in time, any place in time, where would you go? And then the same for the future, where would you go?
Like in the past, I would go back to with the Greeks back way before and sit with some of the philosophers because I do believe that's when basically all the wisdom and all the knowledge came, but also to China back when we had Confucius and Lao and all of that, like really, really wise people to learn from them. But that is in the past. In the future, one day before I'm going to die. So I know what I have done or I haven't done.
Right.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Nobody's giving that answer.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right. Strange, were you done? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm curious. Oh, by the way, Wendy, we have been talking for an hour.
It's fine. I have time.
You have a few more minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
I'm sorry for the bad word.
No, it's cool.
It's all good.
Yes,
sorry, guys. Don't say that at home.
This
I'm
is an
sorry.
Like, go
adult
back and watch that
conversation.
Randy interview. You'd be surprised.
My bad.
That's Joshua in the chat. What's up? Yes, you know what? I don't have the red glasses on today, so I say I know some, you know, in Spanish it's supposed to be muy caliente, but in my channel I say mucho caliente when I get excited. So he's saying mucho caliente. I have red glasses that I put on with, I should have. I didn't think about it, but you're right. I should have had my red glasses, Joshua.
I agree.
So speaking of, in the chat, I've got a link to Wendy, her YouTube channel. It's linked in the chat, so go subscribe if you're not already, and drop a like on this video. Okay, so we're getting to know each other a little bit better here. We're all getting to know Wendy better here, should have better said. So what is your favorite food?
Colombian food and Italian food. Oh my God. I can't explain how.
Calentado.
Oh, Dios mío bendito. Oh my God. Like my mouth, how do you say? Like,
It waters.
Yes. Oh my God. So right now that I'm in Colombia, I'm eating like a cow. Like, oh my God. Colombian food is amazing, and also Italian.
That's awesome. So give me some Colombian dishes. My sister married a Colombian, so
she did well.
So yes, I know Colombian food really well. She's like Colombiana already. So so talk to me. What give me exact dishes.
Ajiaco. Ajiaco is from Bogota. Oh my God, that is my favorite food like ever. If you want to make me smile, send me ajiaco to my house. Especially my grandmother's, like she comes from the fields. She makes the best food because it's so natural. So she makes really amazing ajiaco. As well, like bandeja paisa. Today, I think in my Instagram, I share a little bit about that. So if you want to go to check it out, it says Wen Lopezan. That's my username for Instagram. Bandeja paisa is, oh my God. But also ensalada de frutas, that is like, I don't know how to say that, like fruit salad, that it has like cheese, ice cream, a lot of cool things. It's, oh my God.
Ooh. Oh my God, that sounds good.
I'm in love. If I could marry Colombian food, I would.
I think there was a dish at a Colombian restaurant I used to go to in New York. It was called Montañera, I'm pretty sure. And it had like everything you can think of on that thing. It was amazing. It was amazing. Colombian
Arepitas.
Food
Arepas.
Oh, arepa, yes.
Oh my God.
Arepas. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
When I go to my sister's house and for breakfast, she comes out with the empanadas and everything. And you know, it's fun. It's fun.
Really
okay, so what about Italian food?
Italian food, I love lasagna.
That's my favorite dish.
Yeah. Oof. Lasagna.
That's what I make the best, I should say.
Ah, nice. You have to invite us.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. So what about? And then I think it's called arepa de choclo. It's like that corn.
That is yellow.
Yes, it's yellow and trae cheese.
Oh yeah.
But I like more the normal one, like the white one with a lot of cheese inside. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
Oh Lord.
Man, I think I'm gonna go eat after we finish here.
Guys, if you have never been in Colombia, please join my country because you will fall in love. I'm 100% sure because of the food.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love Colombian food. It's very good. I've been fortunate. You know what? Strange. There's good Colombian restaurants in New York, and you're in New York.
No. I go to one right on Route 107.
Oh, so okay, man. So you know Colombian food.
I don't play around with my Colombian food, man. I like to eat all the different ethnic food groups, man. You know what I'm saying? I eat Indian food. I eat West Indian food.
Absolutely.
All of that. You know, I have a diverse palate, and I like to cook. So I like to cook different stuff and understand the different seasonings that are native to different areas, and that's what makes it, you know, different. Because you'll have certain dishes that, like, Puerto Ricans make rice and beans, Colombians make rice and beans, but yet they'll be different. You know, Mexicans, they do refried beans and stuff more than, you know, so it's just amazing, man. I think like that's one of the spices of life, so to speak, is like our ability to, while we're here, experience all these different flavors, see all these different colors, hear all these different sounds. It's a beautiful experience, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So speaking of getting to know different cultures and being cultured in just different things. So what are a few places that you would like to go and visit? Even if you've been there already, but just give us your top 3 places, whether or not you've been there or not, doesn't matter. Top 3 places.
Norway, Italy, and Japan.
Japan.
That's on my list.
Very cool.
Anime, man, you know?
Anime. She's into, yes, yes.
I like what is different, and I would love to just see a place that is totally different to Latin America.
Yeah, like Tokyo. I want to be right in downtown Tokyo, all the lights. You know, it's equivalent to someone not being from the United States. They're like Times Square, you know, because it's all the lights. And
I would like to go to New York actually, but if I had to choose just 3, I will go for those, and the 4th will be New York actually.
okay,
Yeah,
come and pay me and Randy a visit. I have some lasagna ready for you.
that's
I have
right.
to go to visit you guys, huh?
Yeah, Randy and Strange, they actually live close to each other.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So yeah, you see, got 2 tour guides right there.
Right.
You know, and then I can send my sister. She actually lives not too far from them too. So that's it. It'll be everybody.
That is amazing.
So okay, so we spoke about obviously favorite places, food. I mean, goodness gracious. What about your favorite sport? Are you into sports at all?
I'm really bad at sport. That was the only subject at school that I was really bad. Besides all of that, I was the best, but sports, like, no, maybe chess counts like a sport. That's the only thing that I know how to play. Besides that, no, anything,
Okay.
0. But I do like soccer.
Colombia team, I'm assuming.
No, Argentinian team, because
Messi.
I know. Yes, man.
Yeah, okay. So soccer. You know, I don't know much about soccer, honestly. I've watched a little bit. I've played a little bit on video games when I was younger. Strange. How was your knowledge on soccer?
Not that vast. You know, I'm a daily fantasy sports player. So maybe like a year or 2 ago, maybe even 3, you know, when Messi was going crazy still, stuff like that. Like, you know, when you're putting together lineups, you kind of get familiar with who these guys are and stuff. I remember, like you said, playing some video games back in the day. I think it was Veve when it first started. So, you know, you kind of just knew like Argentina's no joke.
Yes.
This team's no joke, you know, and you know, that was it, man. Like, but to me, I looked at it as like a version of hockey with an extra big field. I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch this. Like,
No,
what's the
that's
odds of somebody even scoring? Oh Lord, give me a
yeah.
line.
You know, but it's cool. My kids are actually gonna start for the first time. The 2 older ones, soccer soon.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. So okay, so what about favorite music? Any favorite type of music or singer or anything genre?
Disclaimer. My dad is a musician, my brother is a musician, but I'm the worst. So I have the worst taste. I have the taste of I don't know how to say that without offending anyone, but I have the worst taste on music. So don't, and I do know a lot about good music. But doing that disclaimer, I'm really basic Latin music, pop music. My favorite singer is Ariana Grande. But right now, but I also like Colombian music that is called tropi pop. But it's a mix between Colombian rhythms and a little bit of reggaeton. So it's a mix between those. Yeah, a little bit. So I'm very basic, guys. I'm sorry.
So
My
no
dad
salsa.
will be like, he doesn't let me play my music because he knows that is so terrible.
So you don't like salsa music?
I do. Like I do like for dancing, but it's not something that I'm going to play at my place. I play more like reggaeton. I'm sorry that tropi pop and pop, pretty
Wow.
much.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I had no idea that
I'm
uh,
sorry.
there was no, no. I mean, obviously, I know reggaeton, but I didn't know that there was a certain
Like a new
reggaeton
genre.
that was
Yeah.
in Colombia. That was
Yes,
different.
that there is a different kind. Actually, all of the famous reggaeton or pop artists that come from Colombia, most of them come from those rhythms in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
they went into the reggaeton side because it's very happy music. That's what I like, that kind of music, 'cause it makes me feel happy. And like I struggle with depression, so I need to try to put like stuff that makes me happy or make me mad. And like the music is so happy that I just start like in a good mood, I guess.
Right. Right. You know, speaking of music, since we're on the subject, I was introduced to, I don't recall what it's called, but like I like salsa, I like salsa. I like, and I was really into dancing it years ago. And I remember I went to a place that had a Colombian section, like a room. And I went in there and I was like, whoa, they dance, they step on every, because salsa is 8 counts. The note, la
Mhm.
nota, is 8 counts.
Mhm.
So um over there in Colombia, you step. I don't recall what it's called, but they step
Like
on
two
every
step.
eight. Yeah, and it was like whoa! I got introduced to that, and it was very
You gotta be in shape, bro.
yeah. You gotta be in shape.
You
Yeah,
gotta be in
I couldn't attempt that right now.
shape.
My belly would just a faint.
No, I love to dance salsa, but it's weird because so when we are from Colombia, we basically pretty much grew up dancing because we dance like every time. Like even my grandma, that she's more than 80, she was dancing in the New Year. Like she was dancing. So we dance because we are happy. We dance because we are sad. So for me, salsa just come from my heart. So I have never um I don't know, I just how I learned to dance salsa. So when you go to other places like in Mexico, they dance other kind of things. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to dance with people that is not from Colombia or Cuba,
Uh-huh.
because kind of we relate a little bit, or even Venezuelans, like people that we were born like with la salsa, it's easier to dance, but people that have no that they don't have that background, it's harder to keep up with them.
Right.
Yes, yes, I've seen that, and it's funny how you mentioned that. Yeah, depending on your salsa dancing will be a little bit different depending on where you grew up,
Mhm.
dancing it. So it's cool. I love it. I love it. I love music. So Strange, I know music is your forte. Did you have any further questions about music?
Um, I don't know. I guess my question is how exposed has she been to a lot of the different music genres out there that are huge? Like I was thinking about it today. I was like, if I was from another country and from, a just totally different upbringing, like even if someone tried to play me certain songs, hip hop songs, I may not get it, like just from the vocabulary, just from so many different angles. And I just wonder what it's like, to try and hear, different things, and what do you think about all the different flavors that are out there, to partake in?
Hmm. That is a good question. Well, in Colombia, because we have so many regions, is how you say, like
Right.
different
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
Like every area has different sound, music, culture,
Exactly.
and even costumes.
Yeah.
So my dad, because he's a musician since I was a kid, I have been like very connected into a lot of different rhythms. So for me, I didn't grow up with just one, like with just one sound.
One
So
second.
for me, I'm very open-minded to every kind of music, even though that I have the worst taste on music. For me, it's easy to understand other kind of music, but I do understand, like from a psychologist point of view, people that grew up with just one kind of sound, one kind of taste, even in the like in food, they have a hard time trying to understand or even respect other music
Right.
because they don't have another, how do you say, like other references.
Correct.
That is it,
Yes.
to understand that there are different kinds. So that's why people get mad about things that are so different to them, because they were never exposed to diversity, I think.
Right.
And
It's
I
almost like
had
a culture shock for some people.
exactly, that is normal. Like it has even a neurological and psychologic
Psychological.
explanation, just
Psychological.
psychological answer to that, like why that happened. But pretty much, like, thankfully my mom and my dad, they are professors, both of them, so they made me grow up like knowing a lot of about different things, so I'm not close-minded. But I do understand that different people is like weird. The only thing that I do not like is banda in Mexico. It's like
Oh,
that,
banda. Yeah.
that for me is like, oh, maybe it's also because I never heard of those sounds like
Right.
like
Right. It's
so for
just
me it sounds like
unfamiliar. Just
it's
yeah.
weird. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound well. It sounds weird. But
Right.
even there, I try to respect that.
Of course, everybody has, their flavor. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So speaking, I'm sorry, Strange. Was that it for
Yes.
about the music?
Yeah.
So okay, so you mentioned that you were open-minded, and again, before I go into my next question, you made me think of a question I want to ask you. I'm interested, but everybody in the chat, drop a like, and look, I haven't pinned her a link to Wendy's YouTube page. So Wendy Stibalis, it's pinned on top on the chat. Go subscribe. Hurry back if you're not already, because I'm about to ask a crazy question, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. All right, so I wanted to ask, do you believe in aliens?
What do you define like an alien?
Like
Ooh.
extraterrestrial. So
She knows.
yeah.
She knows.
It's a yes. It's
Just
a yes.
that response alone.
Yeah, that's it. It's a yes.
Oh,
So extraterrestrial.
or interterrestrial. How
You
about
know,
that?
somebody
The
or
area
a
she's
being,
from,
should I say, a being from another planet, another universe.
or
Like, do
this
you
one.
Yeah, a multi-dimensional. It could be, somebody that is not
in
on
planet
Earth.
Earth, in our dimension, and all of that? That's what you mean? Like
Yeah, it
someone?
could be. Yeah, it could be another planet. It could be another dimension. Anything like that.
Well, I mean, to give an answer to that, just being like very, how did you say, ambitious, because we don't know basically anything. But if we are thinking about like if you mean aliens in the sense of it's creatures that are living in another planet, not necessarily that they have minds like us. Yes, that 100%, that's very obvious that is going to happen in a big universe. And speaking of minds or another beings that have intelligence, that they have brains or any kind that makes them think, let's say that. Well, I mean, in the probability, it's really high. So probably they might be out there somewhere. But if this is what I always said with this question, if they do exist, good, welcome. Because it was obvious, because the probability is too high. So, but if they don't exist, well, it's the same. So for me, it's like,
I like that.
so
It makes no difference, right? And so
it makes no difference for me. So, but I do believe that, yes, there are like, for example, bacteria, or I don't know the names in English for bacteria, microorganismos,
microorganisms.
yes, all of that kind of stuff. Yes, of course, that it's really obvious.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but Omi the clown says, "¿Qué pasa, amiga?"
Ay, Omi the clown. Big
Yeah.
shout out to Omi the clown. He is such an amazing guy.
Awesome, welcome, welcome, Omi the clown, and also Cake is in the chat.
Hey, Cake. I have seen him.
Yes. So, okay, so we I'm gonna go for a few more minutes. We are almost at an hour and a half mark. So this interview has been fantastic. Thank you for sharing with us, and I feel like we know you a lot better as a person. A little bit about your background. So we even asked you about aliens. I like to talk, obviously, Veve, crypto. That's why we're here. We're on this platform, but always try to find out who you are as a person. And
nice.
Super cool. So what about, something embarrassing about yourself that maybe has happened to you, something embarrassing that you're willing to share?
Like that has happened, like, how do you say it? Like hace poquito?
Yeah, recently, or it could be something that happened a long time ago. Either way.
Well, one time I was playing when I was a kid, and we were like, it was like a patio, but it still has like this. So we were playing right here, but it has like how do you say, like another
Another
floor,
level.
another level. Yes. So we were playing here, and I was playing gallinita ciega. That is like something they put in your, and you cannot see, so you have to try to find people. So I was playing like gallinita ciega, and I just keep walking, and no one told me, and I
No.
fall. That was
How
so horrible, because I think a guy that I liked when I was a kid was playing there, so of course that was embarrassing. So I I was conscious, but I faked that I was fainted.
no. That's funny. That's funny. So
Yeah.
what did he do? Did he come and was he worried or what?
No, I don't remember after that. I just remember that I had to fake
You were like,
I
I'm
think
gonna
with
play dead.
you.
I'm
Yes,
gonna play dead.
pretty much. I think I was like 12, I think.
That is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. I like the reaction to it. The next time I get embarrassed, I'm just gonna play dead too. I like that strategy.
You have to be smart.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So okay, so what about something that we have spoken about so many different things. So what about something that is shocking or surprising about you that maybe people may not know?
That I write poetry.
Okay, that's cool.
And I
That
have a
is
blog. And also that I wrote about my dark night. Well, I have shared this in Randy Stream. I had an attempt of suicide 2 years ago, and I wrote about that in my blog. So that is, but I'm fine. Don't worry. I recover everything about that, and I'm not ashamed of that, because that is part of my story. But yes, I write poetry because, well, my whole life I have been writing poetry. My mom also writes poetry, and my grandfather also used to write poetry. And because of that event, I wrote in my blog. But that blog is a little bit hidden. Maybe in my Facebook is the link, but it's in Spanish, so.
Oh, it's in Spanish. Okay. So you have a blog, like is it active? Or do you have it?
I haven't written in a long time, I think in 8 months, but yeah, sometimes I just go to write.
Oh, well, we need to have a link or something to the blog.
You
Right?
have to find out. It's because that one is a little bit hidden. Like it's not I'm not like ashamed of anything, but because I value a lot, I have put a lot of my heart into that blog. So I try to not share it that much, but it's in my Facebook.
Like it's
So
there, but right, you're
yes,
not
if
gonna
you
put it
find
out
out,
there. Right.
if you find out,
Good
you
for you,
can
man.
read it. But
Gotcha.
I think this in my Facebook probably is around there in my Facebook page.
Somewhere. Okay. Okay.
Hey, I had a question. What is the card or book of the night? We usually
Man, I forgot. I was so excited
I know.
about having Wendy Stibalis with us. Voices of Veve, big star. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Starstruck, baby.
I'm starstruck. I completely forgot. Look, for every live, I have a physical collectible of the night. I'm a big collector of comic books and of sport cards. So I like to share one of my personal pieces of a collection. And so tonight's is the wedding of Peter Parker, Mary Jane, the Amazing Spider-Man. It's the giant size annual 21. So this I thought would be awesome to share with everybody. So this is a little bit of piece of history here when they get married. So that is
Wow.
awesome.
Interesting.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
it's a really cool comic book, where you figure comic books are always obviously fighting the bad guy or whatever. And I thought that one's pretty cool because it's their wedding. And
that cover is awesome too. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know that Peter Parker was married.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As long as it's not Andrew Garfield, I'm fine.
Did you see the new movie?
I did. I love it. I don't know if I can talk
No,
about this.
I haven't seen it. I'm gonna go this Friday.
Uh,
No, don't tell me. Don't say anything. No.
Okay. I won't.
Yeah, you can I don't know. I'll drop or something. I'll mute.
No, never mind.
No,
I didn't say anything.
No, look, I used to always watch the Marvel movies the first night. But obviously, we have kids. I'm married. We have kids, and that's just not gonna happen. So my job gave me tickets to go to the movies. And so I told last week, I told my wife, I say, oh, can we go watch the movie? And whatever, it didn't happen, because it's just, we're busy. And so earlier today, she's like, hey, I got a babysitter for Friday to go watch the movie. I was like, yeah.
Wow. Right.
Nice.
Yes. So I'm super happy. So Friday, I'm gonna watch it, and then after Friday, we can just talk about everything.
All right.
Yes, I think you're gonna love it. That's all what I'm saying.
Everybody who knows me has told me that. They said, Joe, you've got to go watch this movie. This movie was made for you.
Yeah,
I have a tattoo of Spider-Man on my body. So yeah. So
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
I have to go watch this movie. It's important.
I think the only thing that I'm gonna tattoo in my life is going to be the logo of Harry Potter or something related to Harry Potter. Because
Right.
someone told me when I was like, I think 16, no, wait, maybe when you grow up, you are not gonna like Harry Potter. I'm like, well, I'm 30 right now and I still love Harry Potter. So probably they were wrong. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Look,
I mean, those things were timeless classics. Like, they've been around for a very long time. It's not like something that's a fad or something that just popped up. Like, no, this is bona
Exactly.
fide, a hit.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, look,
Did you happen to see that reunion thing they did recently?
I did. Oh my God. I wanted to cry because
Yeah,
I
it was
love
crazy.
Hermione Granger was my inspiration my whole life. So she inspired me to be always the top student, always reading, always being a good friend, always being for my closest friends, and just always be the best, or at least the best that you can do, just do it. So she's my inspiration since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I think it's been over an hour and a half. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Hey, chat, if there are any questions that you want to ask or have us ask, please throw it in the chat now, because we're wrapping it up. And by the way, again, I have Wendy Stibalis's link to her YouTube channel. It's pinned on the chat. So please, if you're not already subbed, go over, sub, and then and then hurry back for the ending.
Real quick, because I know some people might have joined late. I just wanted to go back into you know, some of the things that you have going on. You know, especially pinned on your Twitter page with NFT 101, and just any projects, you know, that, you know, you see yourself getting involved in or anything like that. Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, well, I have right now I have two segments. One is Voices of Veve, where I invite the family of the Veve family and we can just have a discussion. The last one was with Riz and some of the OGs. And but besides that, I also have NFTs 101, where I invite different NFT projects so they can share what is an NFT for them, what it has been the journey for them, what is about the blockchain, why do they mint in those blockchain, or what is about the project. For example, I have had Terra Virtua. I will have more videos about TBK because no one is paying attention to them. So I will have more stuff for them. I will have more stuff about my homies. That is also another NFT project. With that, the artist is Jeremy Rogers. And today I had Mondo with Mitch Putnam, that he's working with Ethan Tristan.
Yes.
And well, there are many projects, and I'm going to invite some cool guests in the coming future. And yes, it's just to know more about other NFT projects. I try to choose only those that I do believe that have high potential. Never is for shilling the project, like never is that my intention. I try to do my research really well. I might be wrong because I'm not perfect, but I try to that it has at least a good IP, that it has like an artist, or that they have good reputation, or it's connected with Veve. So that's what I'm doing in the NFT 101. I'm gonna change some stuff in my YouTube channel as well. Maybe I'm gonna introduce another segment that is going to be called Minds of NFTs. That is going to be 101, the journey of different people into the NFT and Web 3.0 space. So,
nice. Yeah. I love it.
I love it too. I love it too. Making moves and having a platform for people to have a voice.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I call Voices of Veve, exactly because of that. Beautiful.
Yes. You know, and we haven't had followers or subscribers, or however you want to call it. Everybody we've had, well, not everybody, I take that back, but most of the people that have come and we've interviewed, they have a YouTube channel, but I have interviewed at least one that I can think of right now. And I have Brandon Z, that he's promised to come on. So it's, you know, we're trying to just get the community, you know, involved, where they can come and we can just chit chat with. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. We can just go and just chit chat because we like Veve, or you know, whatever the case is.
Yes, I like that a lot. Sometimes even it's not that about that I forgot. It's just sometimes it's easier to reach out to my friends or people that I do know. But yes, the way you are doing it's amazing, because I do believe that everyone has a voice. That's why I barely am by myself in my stream. You barely will see me, just me streaming, which is not bad, but I feel more comfortable inviting someone so the audience can learn from them, and I can ask questions that the audience, I know that they might ask them. So, or even, for example, with big guests, with Jeremy or Riz or any of them or all of them, for me, it's more important to try to bring the most people that I can, so everyone has like a chance to talk to them, because sometimes it's a little bit hard to gather them all. But I cannot invite everyone because I have the license for only 10 people, and I'm even paying for that one. But yes, I do believe that connecting is important. For me, that is the most important thing, connecting.
One good thing you know, about, like, you're talking about connecting and giving people in the community a voice, and also the opportunity to connect with you on different levels. Like the other day, I like to be a fly on the wall, more or less, with the Twitter spaces. So I was actually in your Twitter space when you were packing your bags. And you were telling the guys, they were like, two guys were talking, and then they were like, they asked you something, and you were like, you guys keep going. I'm packing my shoes right now. And I was just like dying, you know? And it's just a unique situation where you can find yourself in a, you know, semi-intimate situation with all these people, you know, like it's just an opportunity to connect with people on a different level. You got the YouTube, but I think Twitter Spaces is something new and another great opportunity to connect with people. And I think the more that you do those, you know, it'll
Yeah.
bring people together more. You know,
What I
so,
try to do is streaming in Instagram,
mhm.
and I just do like, yeah, I just stream there because it's easier for me to just be connected with the family, and it's less people. Because of course, when I am streaming, like it's really hard to first, like, English is not my first language, so I have to pay so much attention. Besides that, I have the ADHD, right? So it's like I have to pay so much attention. I have to read the comments. I have to focus on the guest, so it's not boring. So sometimes I just lose track of the conversation with the audience. But that is something that I want to work more to connect with everyone, because I never want to be like, I'm not saying that I'm famous or anything like that at all, like nothing. But I mean, like, I'm sometimes so focused on my work that I forgot that there is also people that is not in, that doesn't have a YouTube or something like that, that I cannot speak with. So that's what I do with the Instagram live, so I can just talk with the family that is,
Right.
well, that is
That's
in Instagram. And in spaces, there are sometimes so many people doing them that I don't want to be like, I really try to avoid connect in the spaces, so I don't, how do you say, step
t-
on, step
their
on.
toes. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I don't want to do that, because I do respect all the job that they are doing. And so I try to avoid them unless that is like really late in the night when no one is
Right,
there.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what and it's
I think
small
yours was
people.
on pretty late. Yeah. The one you were on.
So it's like, I'm like, same with the blog, that for
Yeah.
me is so valuable. So for me, speaking with the family, I prefer to do in a space that is not promoted, and I can actually connect with everyone. If that
Very.
makes sense. I don't know if I can explain
Oh,
myself.
makes total
Yeah. No.
sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. You know. I like it. There's on the Twitter Spaces, there is because I really like Polygon NFTs, like anything on Polygon. So there's one that I listen to and I've spoken on, where it's creators and
Mm,
investors and whatnot. And so I've been so, you know, it's been busy, but once I get a chance, I want to offer the people that go and talk about their Polygon projects. I want to offer them, you know, maybe one night a week to come here and talk about their projects, which I think would be
mm,
cool. Something
that's
something,
amazing.
you know.
Speaking of Polygon, actually, I was trying to get in touch with one of them, because I would like to ask someone working in Polygon
Mm.
about the blockchain, because I will have someone with the VR and something in some project later on. And but I would love to have like something like that. So if you have that, man, that is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy that runs it on Twitter, it's I think his name is Whale. I think I could be Beluga. It's Beluga. It's
Nice
Beluga. But
name.
anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna be going once I get a chance. Maybe in the next 2 weeks or so, I'm gonna go and start offering for
Nice.
that group that not group but that Twitter Spaces. I'm gonna offer that group. Hey, you know,
Nice.
they gave me a chance to go there and talk, you know, so you know
Nice.
I return the favor.
Please tag me, because I would love to see that conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So so that's it. You know, I don't see any cake left recently here. So Strange, were there any last questions that you wanted to ask Wendy before we end the interview?
Oh boy. You would think I would prepare myself for these things, you know, and I feel like I'm being interviewed when you ask me that question. I'm like,
I'm
man,
so sorry.
what's
I
the
put you on the
answer? I
spot.
don't know. No, but I don't know, man. You know, we cover a lot of bases. I don't
We
really
did.
think I have a question. I just want to thank her for coming on and giving us her time and giving me some good laughs in Twitter tonight with her gift files and her responses. Um, and that's it, man. I just want to say thank you. Hopefully, we do this again.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Wendy, I want to say the same thing. Thank you for taking out the time because I know how busy you are. So and I know you have, you know, just life, the things that are going on in your life, your family. You're actually visiting your family, and you agreed to come on and share your, you know, just share your time with us. So I really do appreciate that. I really, really do. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, and this is fun. I'm not used to people asking me questions, but this is amazing. So thank you very much for taking your time to invite me.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, I can't wait till we do it again. We do a part two,
For
and
sure.
we ask even whatever more. We find out more about you. So I really do enjoy this. I really did enjoy this interview. It was awesome. Thank you once again.
Take care, guys, and thank you so much for having me here.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Wendy.
All right,
Bye.
everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Don't forget, I have her link. Don't forget, if you're not sub, go and link. I mean, click on the link and sub. All right, everybody. You know the deal.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.